Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Chat has voted again in another tight election. We're just having votes decided by 1 or 2 or 3 votes here on best of 1, best of 3. But best of 3 was the winner today, so we're going to try and get another 3-0. We started the week with a couple of 3-0s in this event, and that always feels great. I was talking before about how one of the psychological issues with this event, it feels steeper than it is because of the 3,000, 1,000. But one way you can think about it is that it goes 0, 0, 0, 0, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 3,000, right? This happens 3 times more often than this. It's not quite as steep as it feels when you consider that this happens a lot, but it is steep in the sense that only the top half get paid. Only half of the drafters take anything. So that's worth considering. And yeah, I don't know. The premiere has psychologically felt better to me in terms of the win-loss feeling and what goals I'm going for. Because like yesterday's a great example. We got 5 wins. Probably should have gotten 6, if not. But let's not dwell on that. Anyway, with 5 wins, it was this middle area of success, middle high area of success that doesn't exist here. Like, to me, the 2 wins feels below 5 wins in best of 1, but obviously, or above, but above, this. So I like some range in here that the best of 1 gives. But this is also fun. We get to sideboard and stuff. I'm looking forward to that. If you're looking forward to new cards in your physical collection, though, you're going to check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. That's their logo up there in the corner. You can find them by clicking on their affiliate link down in my panels below. That gets you there from here. Lets them know you found them through me, and that helps me down the road. And they have about a 2-week turnaround, I believe, is currently this still estimate on orders. So if you do put in an order, be a little patient during this crazy time as we're all managing the new realities of a pandemic. But Card Kingdom is managing it as well, and they are still going to get their cards, your cards, to you as quickly as they can, and you're going to get it in great shape and exactly what you expect, etc., etc. So thank you, Card Kingdom. Now let's check out what this queue has for us. We've been drafting cycling a lot, and largely I think it's been correct. I talked about 3-0ing 2 of these to start the week. Both of those were cycling decks. I am not forcing it, but I am absolutely looking to get into it if the table is willing to let me have it, because I do believe it's the most consistent deck. It's not that it can't be beaten. Feels good to beat cycling decks, but the way to beat them is to really pile. You need to have a lot of removal. If you don't kill those snare tacticians on site, you got to kill those payoffs. Like, a lot of times the cycling decks have very few payoffs, and if you can kill the payoffs, you can get it done. But even though it's not a bulletproof deck, it just has the highest floor. So if the table's willing to give it for me, I'm going to go for it again, and I'm going to treat the payoffs for cycling as the premium picks that they are. That being said, give me something outside of red-white in the rare slot especially that can pull me away, and I will do it. But I just feel like I gotta follow it if it's there. Ben says what also? Yankum? I like 3rd snare. Snares are the card that if I have on the battlefield in a good cycling deck, I feel like I can't lose. Oh, that's right. We go to the draft scene, which I can get to at the press of a button. Really, Media, we strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Wow. I didn't think anybody was on Marmoset above snare at this point, honestly, Media. Well, we can take this as a fine playable in a cycling deck, and it's also this can be pretty busted if you just mix humans and yeah, well, Fenor, like I think maybe I take... The thing is, they already have one. I just think Snare is the most important creature in the deck, obviously. No, I mean, well, but what are we taking? All right, if you don't want to take this, what are we taking? Like Easy Prey? Crater? Just open on the Crater? I'm going to take the Mythic, if for no other reason than collection building. I think you, and also you'll randomly play a 4/4 for 4 in a red-white cycling deck. And look, see, they're going to pass me a Fox. What am I supposed to do? Maybe I was supposed to take cycling 1 to start. I'm reading chat here. We're going to take Fox. This is how it begins, but I'm not, you know, Fox is my top 3 payoffs for the deck. So if they're going to offer it, I'm going to take it. And why shouldn't we take a healer? Here we go again, folks. I think every pick so far has just been kind of the best pick, but maybe that just shows how much I think of this deck. Maybe we can wheel a Reunion or a Scoured Barrens. But I'm not taking, I mean, there's nothing here to pull me away from it. Right? Oh, well. Maybe this pulls me away from it. Because there's nothing, oh, there's a Serpent though, right? I should just take that. Do you like Serpent or Rumbler and where we've got, what we've got going here? Yeah, it's like Woodrow, I'm trying to be honest with myself. Do I just overvalue this stuff? I mean, some people, I don't know what you were taking over. Anybody who's taken something over Winota, I'm not sure what you took there, but like, yeah, if you were out there not getting into the cycling deck here, I'm curious where you ended up, because I just feel like, again, I've just followed what the packs have told me. Winota is not super exciting, but it was pretty clear. And then Fox is just like one of the best cards in the set. So, all right, just trying to do a sanity check on whether it's whether I am being blind to my own leanings here. But, you know, and then there's a clear Marmoset, right? This one always tricks me. It looks like the 1 mana 3/6 cycler, just enough that when I catch it in my eye, I think it's one of those, but it is not. Now, as a generic, Raking Claws is excellent with Marmoset, but Reunion, when I don't have a Reunion in the deck, I get very... I get very sad. I think every cycling deck I had that didn't have a Reunion just felt like it was really missing something. You want Unicorn for a possible pivot into Mutate? Yeah, I just did a gut check with Rob. I just did a gut check with chat to say, am I forcing this? And, sorry. I would have gone back to Claws, actually, but not the worst. This wasn't the right pick, though. I'm going to take Divine Arrow. If you end up in a cycling light deck, like I'm thinking about our fallback here. If we get a bad cycling deck, we're going to need just basic removal and stuff. Yeah, Snare Light or whatever. Like we had anyway, Snare Light, you want removal. So we're going to take that. Oh, we got a leak though, so maybe it was just one pack. There's 2 cycling ones here. Really nothing here, though. In a desperation world, we might... I think I'd want Serval to be out and attacking ahead of our Winota. You know, some weird... like, again, if our cycling deck fails, I want to think of fallback. And that's why I like looking for the cycling deck, because its fail case is still a playable red-white mid-range deck, and I like playing towards the Winota if the cycling stuff falls apart, and several into Winota attacking to find humans seems reasonable. I didn't want the Sergeant there, but like we'll take it here. Yeah. Sergeant's a very low pick that we want to take free when we can see it coming late. I take a Scoured Barrens here over Raptor or Destruction. Fertilid is late. But yeah, this is looking medium, so we may be having to figure out how we're going to have a not very good cycling deck. You know, and I say not very good cycling. It doesn't mean the deck can't be good. We're fine, but this is worse. This is a worse looking cycling deck after pack 1 than most of my good ones. Well, if it's all the table's feeding me, Rob, I can. I get it. But I'm here to win, man. I'm here to show how I approach maximizing my win count and my gem count. But is there, you know, this is where it's like, if I was sure that the cycling was going to fail, I might just want the rock slide here. Thank you, Chimaro. Appreciate that. I don't think the Whirlwind of Thought is... It's cute, but it's not really a thing. The thing, if that triggered off cycling, sure, but it doesn't trigger off cycling. And I don't... a Rumbler to me is generic attacker. So yeah, if I was sure that we were not going to get there on cycling, I might just take the rock slide to be in that mid-range Winota deck. But I am going to take the healer. It's too good, and we're still too close. We may just still get the hookup on cycling. You take the Crasher here, potentially on the splash. It's 2 red, and then a green. We could find a splash source, but probably better to just continue leaning into the cycling we do have. Yeah, Fanor, it's like, if this weren't here, then maybe we could start considering it, but I think Marmoset just says, get in there. Monkey business. I guess we take a castable cycle 2, but this is an ugly pack. Not much here for us. Pretty low on red. We could also back up into black-white humans. It's another thing that you can do if a cycling deck isn't coming together. But yeah, I guess this is kind of all we've got here. Unless we want to grab that land. Yeah, Leech is interesting. This is just good enough, James, in the cycling deck we're heading towards, that I'm gonna take it. And the Jeskai land, yeah, is interesting, but not gonna take it there. All right, feeling better now, seeing both this Stinger and this Smasher in the pack. How you feeling now, Josh? I mean, this is pack 2, so I acknowledge that we may just be getting the red going in this direction, and we're not going to see any back the other way. But I liked Fire Prophecy there over a generic Cycle 1. And here's the reunion I was looking for. Well, we'll see, Josh. You expect this to happen, though. We cut red hard pack 1, so of course red is flowing pack 2. We'll see if we get any red pack 3, but if we can pick up enough here, it doesn't matter, right? That's another value add of the kind of the cycling deck. We could take the land, but actually I think we want Blitz or Raking Claws. Probably just the Claws, though. We have Fire Prophecy, and we get, yeah, I guess we'll take the Claws. I got the Claws at the last second there. Hey, Vantersaur, nice to see you. Get in our deck. I'm not even worried, like, how many humans can we hit was the question about Winota. Let's keep in mind that this is a 4/4 for 4. Like, I'm fine to just play a 4/4 for 4 on color, and if there's extra value out of it, great. We're going to take and not play this Whirlwind, but fine to get a rare, pick 9. Yeah, no Tacticians yet. Can we win in a cycling-ish deck without Tacticians? Well, that's the question. That's what I'm saying. That's what I like. Yes, because we have Winota. You know, like, we can just... Yes, because we'll pick up a 5-mana flyer or whatever. Yes, we'll take this stupid Raptor. Like, I'm putting it in the board right now, but that's the beauty of this deck. As much as I want a Snare Tactician because of how easy it makes things, this is a bad cycling deck, and it's still looking fine to me. Here's another leech. That's that same leech going around. We can just take a cycling 2, generic cycling 2. We really don't like to play these in a cycling deck. You know, if you can, because if we take this, the only way it makes the cut is if we're that desperate for cycling, but I don't think we need any of those other things. So I will take that. And then I guess a reflexes here, although we really don't want a reflexes either. I'm going to take the Raptor in case we're kind of a weird hybrid situation. Last-ish pick Claws is nice. And White X and Red X dual lands are great for this deck. It allows... Oh, and it's random Tigerilla, sure. Here we have a Stinger. See, like, you give me this first pick and I would have taken this, and then maybe we could have done that, but we didn't get there. So Stinger here, Moloch, nice, Healer, nice. Maybe we'll see one of those on the wheel. I'm not counting on it, but it'd be cool. If nothing else, the Monstrous Step should come back to us. Moloch I really like, but it's... like, Stinger has the reach to be a win condition, so I really want the payoffs that can win me games here. And Fox, definitely the pick over Rock Slide or Blood Curdle or a rare. Second Fox, pretty great. Dire Tactics is potentially splashable. We don't like this. If Bloodfell Caves comes back, we're better able to splash something like Tactics. We can take a Checkpoint Officer or a Fumes and have something we know we can run. Oh, we do have the Barons. Oh, we do have the Barons. Okay, sorry. I saw the Blossoming Sands and not the Barons. The Barons with the chance of the Caves wheel kind of makes me want to hedge on the Tactics. I'm going to do that. Maybe we wheel that land or find another black tap land, black red or black white tap land, Scoured Barons. Then I'm happy with that pick, but it's a bit of a hedge. I don't think we run a Leosaur in this deck, but it could be part of this whole Winota backup plan. So maybe we do it because it's just a decent bear. Or it's a bear. I don't even know if it's decent. Swallow Whole, good removal. No Cycle 1. If there was Cycle 1, I might consider it over it, but we're going to take Swallow Whole. Yeah, this seems more like a Winota deck that has some cycling stuff going on. And Glider could work in this deck as well. I continue to like just kind of leaning into the human, half-human kind of thing here. And it's not a bad backup place to be. We could get Forbidden Friendship. How's our mana, or how's our curve? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it's free. As long as, like, because the Glider is playable, Winota's playable, so anything else you're getting out of it is just extra bonus. We can play a Marshal here. And again, there's these 2-mana cyclers, but I rather would lean into the Winota side of the deck rather than bad cycling. Yeah, like Fumes is totally reasonable. And Caprador doesn't really have some of those combos that are interesting that I see. We don't have the deal 4 to a flyer, but we probably take it anyway. It's still playable, yeah. And maybe we do take Heightened Reflexes. Suddenly I'm thinking this deck is about attacking and blocking way more than I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah, Arrow. We do have Arrow to use on it. Yep, Divine Arrow works with Cap. It's decent with arrow. I mean, it's cute, but keep in mind that like if you use arrow to make your Caprador a 4/6, you have turned Divine Arrow into an aura, and sometimes that's correct to do, but just be aware that that's what you're doing. Yeah, we're gonna take this for whatever, for collection building, rare drafting. Thanks, table. And it looks like we get the fumes anyway. And another fumes anyway. All right, we got some choices here. Another cat that can work with Winota. All right, bad cycling deck, everybody. We got a bad cycling deck, and I still think this is a fine deck. We could splash the rare. What does that get us? Do we even want to? What does it do? Doesn't really, this is not worth splashing, no. He is, actually. He just recognizes, perhaps for once, that I did not, in fact, force it. Yeah, Double Fox is no joke. There's some, it's I shouldn't say bad. It's a understaffed. It's an understaffed cycling deck. Probably not going to run the tactics, though. We took a flyer on that, and I don't think it's worth it. We also don't need a Sands in this deck at all. A free 2 damage every turn. What are we talking about? That's a free 2 damage every turn? Yeah, cut worm. All right, let's look at, I'm going to do my usual, let's start with at least looking at what our cycling situation is. And what I'm doing here is moving things that cycle 1 into the left, cycle 2 here. And yes, I want to cast foxes and stingers, but I'll cycle them if I have to. So if I'm willing to cycle them for mana, they can be considered against the mana count stuff. So then here's kind of generic human, non-human stuff. That's the whole Winota thing. Winota Joiner, Winona Ryder, something like that. There's a Winota Ryder, and she kind of looks like Winona Ryder. Now I want to get an altar of this card to look like her character from Heathers or something. All right. Also, let's look at this. So we're 2011 currently. Okay, this goes here. This is a cycle 1. Now we look at our cycling payoffs here, of which there are basically nothing. Okay, if we put the foxes here. See, that's the thing. I mean, we can put all this cycling in, but we just don't have a lot of payoffs for it. So it doesn't do much. Am I missing anything over here? This is kind of part of this whole nonsense. So here's creatures that relate to the Winota strategy, and then our unrelated spells. So let me also go to my deck building view. Maybe we'll just call it Winona Ryder. Yeah, Stinger is a reasonable payoff too. You could look at it as us having 6 payoffs, which is pretty good. Yeah, I always think of it as Donkey Kong too. I don't know what the DK is, but I imagine he was a huge ape. All right. Sorry, we're getting distracted on silly things. So if we like this, then the question is, what we like our cycle 1s and our payoffs for sure. We have 8 cuts to make. Are we cutting into our... Oh, and Divine Arrow should go over here. And Fire Prophecy should go over here. Sorry, those were in the wrong place. So what are we cutting? Probably just cut the reflexes. Oh yeah, we got to figure out our lands because we're going to get some gone from land. So let's only, and Swallow Hole belongs over here. So let's count the stuff I'm happy to cycle 1. So 1, 2 on the healer, 3, 4. We really only have 4 cycle 1s that we're like, yeah, that's what they're here for. But we could cut, yeah, we could cut 2. I think we can cut the swamps and then add back a plains. Anybody, yeah, 15 land seems correct here to me. And then that leaves us with 5 cuts to make on a 2010. You got to cut a lot of creatures. Yeah, these severals aren't doing enough, right? And now I'm gonna, if we want to keep all of the cycling, I think that's fair. The fumes we can actually even cast sometimes. We could cut the barons and give up on ever casting fumes. Maybe it's like this. Sergeant is at least a human to find with Winota. I'm a little reticent to cut the humans to find. We're close here. We're close. I think the rest need to come out of here, though. So we... Yeah, I think we can cut the unicorn. Maybe even the tigerilla. True. Also, one thing to note about the Perimeter Sergeant, Winota putting Perimeter Sergeant onto the battlefield does not trigger the +1/+0 because it enters attacking and it triggers when he attacks. And abilities like that say onto the battlefield tapped and attacking have just skipped over the trigger. So that's fair. We can cut that and call this a deck. So it's a bad cycling deck with Winota bailing us out. Maybe like is bad. Okay, so this is a I'm gonna call this deck Shoplifter because it's a bad Winota deck. Oop. Shoplifer is not what we want. There we go. Winona Ryder got arrested for shoplifting one time. Maybe I shouldn't tease her. Clearly that's a sign of, that's a cry for help type deal, not a, you know, that's a problem move. But it's still kind of funny. No, that was a long time ago. Oh yeah, any bling. I didn't see any bling redemptions, but let's at least upgrade these lands. I'm willing to do that. Let's use our new sleeves too. We got Godzilla sleeves. Oh, Soul Ring sleeves we haven't used yet though. I'm just going to apologize to Winona and leave it, Rob, just because it's nice and subtle. Like, nobody watching on YouTube is going to know what the heck Shoplifter meant. And then lands. But Winona, I'm glad you got everything together. Looks like you're having a great run now. Avon's. Oh, just missed it. Now you. because I love switching lands around. It's my favorite part of this client. All right, we're almost there, folks. Yeah, favorite lands are... I mean, we have favorite sleeves. They give me default sleeves, but not default lands. Come on. There's not really a set filter, but at least they jump out at me. I know exactly where they are, you know? All right. Funky deck, but it's got potential. How much potential? I'll let you all decide as I queue up here. And I'm going to use my cool thing to move to the battlefield. And I'm going to get you your Parpole. Well, we're on the play. That's kind of where we want to be here. Fox into Leosaur into Cycle seems okay. Oh, Leosaur is needs some red, but I'm still going to keep this on the strength of Fox into Cycle. Could even go Fox into Cycle and to mutate onto it if we need to. Yeah, I can be, I could go as Hopper. I could, clearly I could go as this dude. Who's this? I look like my own avatar there. But the other one I get a lot is, I forget his name, but the star of Walking Dead. Yeah, there you go. Adrian said it. Whatever, Rick Grimes. Andrew Lincoln, is that his name? Okay, so let's... at my heaviest, I look a lot more like Hopper, let me tell you. My weight fluctuates all over the place because I don't really pay attention to it. I'm going to cycle here. Can't do anything else. Let's get a big Fox and find some stuff to do. All right, really want a mountain now. Get Winota out on 4 after... well, I'm gonna cycle... We could play healer, but I think we need to cycle healer and find our mountain. No mountain yet. If I play the plains, we don't really have any other plays anyway, so we're also going to cycle this leak. And we're also going to cycle this dino. Trying, Zach. We're trying to draw a mountain. 20. We're 13 cards deep and haven't seen one of our 7 mountains yet. That's interesting, Mike. Try to draw a Divine Arrow, but I was trying to find, you know, trying to find a mountain to play, and I'm going to continue to do so. Sure, just the last one. Yeah, that makes sense. That is fair. Well, at least we have a Divine Arrow, and it looks like we're dead in the water. Maybe they'll do a... Okay. Yeah, they get 2 lands out of this, but it uses up their turn if they want to do it. Trouble is, it does set up this dude next turn, but we do have the Swallow Hole for that. So Swallow Hole right now is earmarked for the Sandworm. And we're going to go ahead and force them to use or lose Fertilid counters. And probably they spend their turn doing this, and then they spend their next turn casting the Sandworm, and then we dig, and try to at least cast a creature so we can swallow some stuff whole. Well, any land, even a plains, is going to get us that. All right, really need to find a mountain here. Come on. Rough. Although this is a creature, if we find a land now, we get to do the thing. All right, and there's our mountain. If we follow with Winota, we want a non-human. Although we're not going to attack with our creature next turn. We might. We'll probably go Winota, make Winota big, and then kill it. How do we kill it? We need it to attack before we can kill it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Use all mana, make a 3/3 flighter. Well, but Mike, Swallow needs to be tapped. That's why we need it to attack first, right? And then we can do that. Would love to kill it right now, but setting up for next turn when it will be tapped. Yeah, so same thing. So we just Tiger, right? I mean, that's basically same thing Mike is saying. Use all of our mana. I'm gonna go Menace because we're gonna try and make it big. Also, this is good because if they do remove the Tigerilla, we do have Glider Swallow Hole as a fallback plan. And to that end, if we felt it... Well, actually, I like this as a 5/4, especially in the face of this 3/5. So we will Swallow Hole and then play a Glider. And I want this as a 5/4, so we're going to take a turn off to make it so. And I think we go Flying Glider. This doesn't have reach, right? And then we can maybe mutate this at some point for a big swing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not playing around, untap, right? We just had to... Yeah, Fire Prophecy makes First Strike interesting too. What do you think? Fire Prophecy is us trying to get cute with this dude, though, and I don't know if that happens. But yeah, with Winota, I think we just want to have it fly. I think Fenor's right. First Strike is worth mentioning, though, because of the Fire Prophecy. It's a good call to at least think that through. Winota it up here, see if we get lucky. They're going for the response tap. Makes some sense. I probably just cycle this at the end of turn, but no need to do it now. At least we make them tap, right? And they have a free attack here. I'm inclined to just take the 3 for this turn. And do some blocking next turn when we have Prophecy in hand to back up with. I think it's worth caution here. Worth 3 points of caution. They're playing black, so for example, the Deadeye, the 4/2 is a real concern. I at least want to be sure I'm getting their creature out of it. Given that we need to go wide, there's an argument for not cycling this, but I like trying to get a land so we can have Martial plus Prophecy, which we do here, so that's good. Or Martial and Leosaur even, and save Prophecy. So let's let them do some tapping here, if they want. So I'm going to say no attacks so that we can threaten all sorts of blocks this time. If we get Caprador down and finish on Leosaur, that would be great. We can do Caprador next turn, hold up Prophecy, maybe get in some attacks. Big dude. Well, still don't have any non-humans to attack with right now. Let's let him do the tapping thing on the glider again. Nice job, darling. Having some early success. We do have a Cathartic Reunion. Makes me want to hold this mountain since there's nothing we're trying to accomplish that needs it. And in fact, we can ditch it to the Fire Prophecy. I didn't want to play this yet. I thought we might mutate this as a alpha. I'm kind of thinking of this as a +2/+1 the team spell, Mike. Maybe that's not correct, but that's where I'm thinking. And here, I like Chump, Mammoth, and trade 2-for-1 ourselves for the Felidar, since this is really cramping our style with the tap. So we're going to try this. I could also not... we could go to 1. It's risky, but it does leave us with a 1/1 that can become a 3/2 on attacks. Although I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, then we die to a combat trick. And also, I don't think that extra damage is going to be relevant. So let's just do this. If they have an answer to this, I just got to tip the cap. I mean... Right on. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. So now we're at 7. May need to chump. But hopefully we find a human so we don't need to. I can always chump with the Leosaur if we need to, so I'm going to swing in and see if we can get some chumps via attacks. I'm going to even send in Winota, because we can always drop Leosaur. And if we lose to removal because of that, I mean, I don't know. We got to take some chances here. If we can find any human, we get extra chumps, and if not, we at least have the Leosaur. I don't know. Here's one. Oh, but they're tapped. I see. Yeah, well, okay, so we are just banking on the Leosaur then. Yeah, sorry, Mike. This is the first time I ever played Winota. I was thinking they entered untapped, but of course they're tapped and attacking. so... Yep, now we just gotta play... this and be ready to chump, and we'll reunion away if we survive the turn. One of my favorite not reading cards comments ever. I wish I could remember his name. Really kind of funny guy, good Magic player who won a Magic Online qualifier of some kind, but I think it might have been constructed. I can't remember if it was constructed or limited, but in any case, had a Bident of Thassa, and then played a second Bident of Thassa. And of course, Bident of Thassa is legendary. And he still won anyway, but was sheepish about basically just throwing away a card. But his comment on Twitter was, I don't stay up all night reading Bidents. I love that. So that's what I think when I make these mistakes. I don't stay up all night reading blah-de-blah. So again, we could go to 1 and leave the Leosaur. If we don't do this, like, I guess... Yeah, I think we have to take some risk here. Yeah, we lose to Combat Trick, but I'm going to take the risk. Because I really want... If we keep the Leosaur around, we have ways that we might just win. And hey, look, I'm going to use my new panel.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Well, that's real. Let's see what we can find here. As far as ultimatums go, that's not the worst we've ever experienced. Yeah, maybe we're not going to mutate on it again, but I still like having the creature. Now we gotta cycle that. Although, let's see, double strike. Let's not be hasty, Ryan. Maybe we need the double strike. If we double strike 2 2s, we get 4 power worth of oomph. That's not going to be enough. Let's try this. That could be interesting on defense. Let's see what that accomplishes. Maybe not that much, but at least no reason to cycle it right now. Oh, does it turn cats into tappers? Creatures you control. Oh, vigilance have tap. Yeah, so. All right. Sure, I'll make him do it. I mean, I think they see it, but let's make him do it. I get that they have 3 taps. I want to see him do it. It probably is. I want to make him do it. Like, we also have pauses. What if they're afraid of divine 4 damage, you know? Just so, just so. So we could go everything, try to kill this, and then go here and will the All Hunter to keep it alive. But then how do we win? I mean, I'm happy that we're getting another chance here. I don't know how we win. Maybe we need to not... Maybe we just need to chump. Yeah, chump the Mammoth. Keep the Stingers. Or keep... let's see, we can go boom, boom, and then will to take out the Felidar, and we got to keep chumping that. Hopefully they go for the... Yeah, it doesn't kill anything. No matter what they put first, we will, and then the thing survives. We can triple, but I was just going to do this. Oh yeah, in case of removal, maybe. But, well, they didn't have it before. I think it would be surprising if they had it now. But they have one more card than they did last turn, so you never know. Well, they did have removal. Darn it. Doing everything we can. Everything we can, but the magic gods are not with us game one. Now I'm willing to scoop it up. We got nothing. Was I supposed to put the counters on the Caprador to play around that? I mean... I didn't think about it. I don't know if I would have if I'd thought about it, but I didn't think about it. Because to do that meta is giving up the Stinger. You're basically saying, I'm going to give up the Stinger in case they happen to have a Blade Banish as the last card in their hand. Yeah, I think I'm with Tonga. Tongo, we had to try to keep our creatures, right? Yeah, tacticians are something else. All right, we're up against Abzan Ultimatum, basically. Abzan Ultimatum control. So how can we get more aggressive? We could drop like a Tigerilla for Raptor, keep 4 power, but get it a turn sooner. Sergeant could come in. Do you like it for the Tigerilla? If we go Sergeant, we're reducing our non-human count a bit. Yeah, Dire Tactics for the Exile is interesting. Could bring in that for like... I've got 29 seconds here though, and I'm running out of time. I think I'll cut Tigerilla for the other creature, and then I don't think I want to cut more cycling is the problem. So then what am I cutting for tactics? Yeah, I think I'm just going to cut the tactics now, and we'll come back. I think well, it might not even have taken my one switch there. I think I lost a race condition there. Yeah, that's why I quit, because I bailed out of that plan. This looks good, though. Stinger, or probably actually start with Healer. So if they kill it, they can kill the Healer. And then we Stinger cycle on 3. Oh, Fox, you're just a little bit late, buddy. Boy, now... Yeah, still Healer, Fenor, you think? Because we could go... Yeah, because we could save this now and play Stinger, and then actually cycle the Healer. Go Stinger, Fox, cycle, cycle. I was going to lead Healer, but now that we have this Fox, I think I want to cycle Healer and go Stinger, Fox, cycle, cycle. No need to cycle now. Let's threaten divine what is it? Divine arrow? You know, that kind of thing. Boy, I don't want to get blown out by a dead weight. But maybe it's not even worth it for one. Yeah, or they have an arrow of their own, so not worth a block for the arrow possibility. Interesting turn. We can go Marshal, just use all our mana. We can go Marm with a Stinger cycle. We can go play Stinger, have Will of the All-Hunter cycle. Certainly we can swing the Fox, because we have cycle 2. We can make a 5/5. They don't even have the power on board to stop it. This is why you didn't like the bluff attack. I don't understand, Swamp Lore. Because you think we showed them that we didn't have it? I don't know what you mean by that. Or you didn't like the bluff attack because they had the attack in? You wanted to threaten to block and kill? Is attacking with Stinger good? No. I mean, we could say it has a combat trick, but at worst, at best, we're 1-for-1ing for the Night Squad commando. I don't think it's worth it. Like, I would rather cycle this Will. I see what you're saying about attacking with a Stinger. But now, what are we doing with this turn? Mike wants the Marshal. Marm leave up cycle is pretty interesting to me, though, Mike. I think I'm going to do that. Close one. Mike liked Marshal. I went with Marmoset, hold up Stinger. If the Marmoset lives, we just threaten such an attack next turn with Marmoset and Fox. That happens, Swamp Lore. Attack with 2 cyclers up, although I think I just want the Stinger out, and then we have this cycle up. I'm going to cast the Stinger and send the Marm. And do we want an extra 4 damage here, or do we want some defense? I'm going to go extra 4 damage. It's really an extra 2 damage, because we were going to get these 2 from the cycling no matter what. But it also draws us a card, so it's not just extra damage, it's digging into our deck, looking for lands, looking for action. Don't like to see that. That's fine by me. Gives us... They're looking for several double blocks here, but we have Divine Arrow to take out the 1/4, which I think is worth doing here. Yeah, we could... If we use it defensively, we make a big Stinger. That's true. Could have been even more aggressive to use it defensively and then flip around with a big aggro. But here, at least we have a Divine Arrow plus Glider. Save arrow for the 3/5. It's going to be tough to get the get this with the arrow, but maybe not. Maybe they just block, but we'll like have to give up. Oh, maybe we put Glider on first strike and then we can do it. I guess we have to set up for that. Play Marshal, and then next turn we have Glider on first strike plus arrow. Well, even first strike or 1/1 plus arrow, yeah. Gives us kind of both means. Caprador, yeah, it has the fun arrow trick. We could make ourselves a 5/7, but 5/7 still is just going to get tapped down by this. So we need to figure out. Yeah, maybe they tap the Glider, but they probably tap the Marshal first. Anyway, we're going to try. With the first strike counter on the Glider, we have several creatures. Like, the Glider is ideal, but then we at least have this fallback plan of 1/1. I get it, but also Alpo has not necessarily been tapping. They've not been doing the attack tap thing, so we'll see. Maybe they'll figure it out this time. But chances are, like, they're not going to tap the 1/1. So Mike's backup line of Divine Arrow plus 1/1 is still good. All right, we're going to try. Maybe I should do both in case they've got an arrow and take out the Glider. I still want to be able to make sure it dies. So I'm going to double. Yeah, we're going to double and make sure we can get through their Divine Arrow. And yeah, as Mike says, we can arrow after damage here. Yeah, I could also double this serval. Sorry, I keep saying several with this thing. Serval. We could have doubled the serval, but I really think this screams trick. We're gonna let first strike damage happen. And now we're gonna try it. Yeah! See, we did it. We played around it. Played around it. Kind of like a, that was kind of like a spite casting of that. All right. Now with Fire Prophecy, I like sending in everything but the 1/1. Mike wants to pump Cap. I don't like that. They're out of cards, Mike. Let's just use this as removal and, like, kill them with our creatures. Looks like they're not doing it anyway, so I guess we can still do Mike's line. I was ready to use Fire Prophecy in response to a double block, but we didn't even have to. They didn't arrow before damage because they didn't have a reason to at the time. We tricked them with first strike. They didn't know that they were going to lose their creature. That's exactly why we did it that way. Yeah, that's true, although Mike says kill Fertilid before ultimate mana, but we can't kill the Fertilid without them just activating it twice anyway, right? So that we can't really kill it unless they attack us. Oh, yeah, you were talking about before. Mike's just behind me. Yeah. A reasonable line, Mike. But I'm gonna again send in everything but the 1/1 and. Or yeah, we could hit the cap. They're out of cards, right? Let's put a heavy clock on them, and I'm willing to offer the Marshal here. I figured, Mike. I was a little surprised, but now it all makes sense. It didn't matter to me. Like no matter what, I was gonna make the Caprador big. That's why I didn't wait. But maybe there's world. I mean, they were out of cards. If they had cards, I certainly would have waited. But they were out of cards, so it was a known situation. All right. Did we even get the... So if we wanted to go boom, boom... See, that's the thing. I'm not willing to splash this on just the Barrens, and I don't want to add a swamp. So I'm not going to do it. So the other thing I was considering was Tigerilla out and Human in to get a little lower to the ground. But I think that's okay. Yeah, let's go with this. You like the 4-2? You want to keep it a non-human, basically? That's really the choice. We want a human or a non-human. Mike likes it because it lines up against the kitties we're seeing. That's true. Great point, Mike. And this is what I like. Dionysus was asking about sideboard cards, and I kind of said, like, it's not even about that. Aha, I have a sideboard card. It's about looking at the stuff you're playing and figuring out how it lines up with your opponent. So this is a great example of what I was talking about when D asked that question. It's some cards are obviously sideboard, but sideboarding is not about the obvious sideboard cards as much as it is about understanding what you're not playing that's good against this opponent. No red yet, but we can keep this. We have cycling 1. We have healer. And with no red, I'm not going to mess around. If we don't draw a mountain, I'm going to cycle Memory Leak on turn 1. Well, we've got arrow plus cycling 2. We're going to hold that up. Probably want to get rid of the brushwag if they send it. I'm sad that we're not going to be drawing land, but I do want to get the brushwag gone here. Well, they have plenty of mutate targets, so it's not like we're stopping that. But I don't want to do nothing. All right, now we're in for it. Well, we could healer and play something that stops both of these. I think I am actually going to do that. Sucks to not play our third land drop, but playing a 2/2 on this board currently stops it, is a hard stop for Oppo's attacks, at least. And they're dwindling on cards here and don't have anything hugely impactful yet. I'm going to try this. I'm suspicious, but this is an expendable creature. All right, now I could cycle the Will at 2, which is the worst card. But if I cycle Stingers, which are the obviously better card, we have 2 shots at a land. Interesting, really interesting choice. Fenor's in for 1 cycle on the worst card. Anybody in for cycling a Stinger so that we get 2 chances at a land? Mike's in on the Stingers. Mike wants a Stinger. Thing is, if we find a land, we don't have to cycle the other one, right? I think we really need to find land. Although we're also not under a ton of pressure, so that would be a reason to do this one, that they're not actually pressuring us. But all right, let's look. I'm going to do it. Let's look for a mountain. Didn't find a mountain. We did find a plains. That, of course, is going to make me want to just cycle the Will, though. Oppo has seen our Divine Arrow, so I want to, you know, we get to use cycling as a threat of Divine Arrow. There's the Raptor Kitty Cat matchup that Mike was talking about, wanting to play this over the 3/2 human. All right, I was like, okay, plains, but how about some red? Thank you. All right, we can do some stuff now. If we play the Marmoset, we can do some stop setting to represent cycle 1. We can drop Raptor and just threaten to block anything successfully. Marmoset, actually, we don't even need to threaten. We actually do have the cycle 1. Sorry. It was like, ooh, we can pretend we have cycling 1. We do have cycling 1. It's just that I don't want to cycle this for 1. That's all, right? But in terms of a bluff, we don't need to do any fancy stuff. So Raptor blanks all their attacks, but Marmoset effectively blanks all their attacks and is a better threat back the other way. So yeah, but Marm is what we want to get going, right? I don't know. All right, I'll listen to Mike. Mike's always right. He's not always right. That's not true. But I'll go with Mike's line here. I'm torn. I think there's good reasons to want to get the Marmoset going. But Mike's got a great point that if my point about the Marmoset is that it's the thing, it's our big payoff. It's so much better. It's what we want to get going. But if we're not attacking with it, this is a better defender. Be like Mike. That was another big mistake. Michael Jordan setting himself up to be a role model for everybody. I'm really enjoying. I was at my basketball fandom peak in the 90s, so I've really been loving the Jordan documentary. Yeah, this could be a reunion time. But I was with Mike. I was just gonna dump creatures down. Mike says Cap Stinger. We could go Marm Stinger too, though. Fenrir wants reunion. I want to use reunion to reload. Hopefully we find another land. Oh, right, we can't, of course. That's why Mike didn't want that line. Yeah, I'm going to wait. If we find... I would really like to ditch another land with this reunion. Would I attack Marmoset into 3 to 4 creatures on Oppo's side? Depends on what we've got in hand. Here, I'm going to risk not being able to cast the Marmoset to find action. Get rid of these planes. Cycle healer. Play healer. Cycle healer, play healer. Yeah, if we find red, we're pretty happy about cycling the healer, and it's not a major payoff anyway. Let's cycle the healer. Mike wants to get wide. I'm going for the find stuff. Hard to cycle a Flourishing Fox, though. Let's play the Fox. And send our flyer. Got to get Oppo to tap this down so we can swallow it whole on one of our turns. No red. We could cycle to try and find more land, but I'm inclined to just drop Winota. Although this... Oh, yeah, they're out of mana, so we do get an attack with Caprador. Trouble is... trouble with Winota here is... Oh, wait, they indestructible. Okay, so they can't be killed. Good, good, good. All right, let's do this. Video and chat. Let me see. Sometimes that's weirdness in my mixer. Nope, doesn't look like it's me today. Just the flyer, right? Unfortunately. Marshall, nice. Free stuff. Oh, man. Wish we had a combat trick to punish that block, but we don't. Fumes. Doesn't do too much, but could do a little bit if... We can't cast it, though. That's right, we don't have any black mana. So this is just a pure cycling play. So we do that now, right? And then hopefully we'll be able to... They'll do some Felidar tapping here, and then we'll get rid of it. Swallow it whole. No, this tapper is too good. I would love to get rid of this naturalist, but it doesn't seem correct to me here. Interesting, with a double cycle potential, we could swing in even with the fox here. I think we'll do that. Let's see what they want to tap. If they don't use the Felidar to tap, though, we don't get it. And they only have 1 mana right now, so they'll probably use their kitty cat to do the... They have these other vigilance things to do the tapping is the problem. Fox and Raptor. Raptor just is... We could also play this other Fox. Raptor isn't a good attack, though. Fox can kind of be a good attack. Raptor is not. Yeah, Raptor just is suicide. So really, it's just a question of whether we're sending the Fox. And I'm going to say no. And I'm going to play Marmoset. And keep getting wide and make more things that they feel the need to tap. And try to get this Felidar tapped so that we can swallow it. Yeah, it was not a calculated bluff I liked. I'm not sure what we were trying to accomplish with it. The thing, you know, if our bluff it succeeds, what do we get out of it? 4 damage? A trade? You know, it just didn't seem like where we wanted to be. I'm tired of them casting stuff because I'm trying to get them to tap their Felidar here. Yeah, we can mutate this, right? But the trouble is, it's not going to get a whole lot done while they're tapping so much of our team. We could throw this on... They've been tapping our Caprador. So maybe we keep the... I think we should mutate swing here. And where do we... And they can only tap one, so where do we put this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We've got Raptor, Caprador. Maybe we just Leosaur the Caprador anyway, and then it's like, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it here. Yeah, good point, Top Rope. Yeah, we could totally mutate onto the Fox and take advantage of the counters. But I like spreading this out. I like saying Caprador is the thing that gets in for free, so you better tap it. But then everything else is the stuff that gets the buff, so... we want to go... Do we want a 2-2 or a 1-3? I guess we want the extra power, yeah? There's an argument they made for toughness sometimes. But in this case, yeah, we want to do that. And then... Now we definitely have this attack. Definitely have this attack. Definitely have this attack. And this attack. Are we willing to use Winota? Lose Winota here. And Marm is a good attack too, right? And then we leave... Maybe we even send in this token if they want to try and eat. I guess they do. It's just too free for them to eat it with this, though. But maybe we don't care. Should we just alpha? Send everything? Ah, maths for blockers. Let's do it. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. We might be just out of humans. I don't think we had any. Like, it doesn't surprise me that that happened. We have, yeah, we're out of them. I mean, that's just fine. We only have 14 cards. Okay, now where the Fox is the thing. All right, so we're definitely going to cycle. So we're just going to cycle Serpent because we want to save that Fox. I don't even know what else is happening out there, but this is what's happening here. I wanted to save the Fox. Like, we let the Fox die, then I think we're better off saving the Fox. At least I felt that way. Cycle the Fox. Probably going to go for Odd with our Marmoset and Fox and Raptor. They still have non-Felidar taps. But we still have... Marmoset just gets eaten here, so we don't have that attack anymore. We have Day Squad, but that we can double strike. So we want to offer up the odd or the even double strike possibility here. I think they'll probably... I mean, at 12, they probably just chump with the 1-1. And do we want to cycle this fox or play it and then have another fox growing? Because we can make a 5/5 fox right now, or we can get another fox growing. Trouble with a growing fox is they've got this, of course. Yeah, okay, we'll play it. We'll play it. I don't think they have seen the Swallow Hole yet. Did they? I don't think we've cast it yet. I can't remember. The start of this match seems like forever ago. Clean attack here. We got no even blockers to speak of. But hopefully, just don't play anything. Just tap our team. You just got to tap. Remember, you got to keep your stuff around to tap. Come on, Oppo. Oh my gosh. Oppo keeps leaving mana to not have to tap down the Felidar. Maybe they're playing around the Swallow Hole, in which case that's pretty good on them. That is stinky, stinky. Can't even swallow whole the Venturer. So it looks like they're trying to just get their on Venturer taps, and maybe I need to keep the Leosaur back so we can double strike it in the and get the Venturer. So yeah, maybe they are sniping. I usually don't fall to sniping as the answer, but if they're in chat and seeming prescient, perhaps there is something suspicious going on. Okay, you're just playing. I generally don't assume sniping. It's the times that people think call it out as a possibility versus the times that it is are pretty narrow. So are we just dead? Usually these types of attacks mean you're just dead. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. We cannot stop this 3. And they're coming at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, we're going to pass to blockers. We're going to try for double striking. We could do a cycle. We could put Marmoset on Felidar and try to cycle our way to killing it. We might have to try to cycle our way out of this. That's just kind of starting to be what I'm thinking here. And to that end, we go here with that. We go here with this. And here with this. I mean, we're taking a long shot here. And we may lose our Marmoset. Yeah, if I had swapped those, that makes more sense, right? Yeah, I screwed up that. I was at 0 hourglasses, though. If I had a couple more seconds to figure out my my blocks, So 2, are we... Oh, I see. They're going for lethal. Darn it. Well, that feels like a match that Ben Stark wins somehow. I don't think we played terribly, but that was so close. I feel like we let something get away there. Well, I ran out of I was at 0 hourglasses, Zach, so it didn't give me the chance to cycle. I was going to go cycle and see, but I didn't even get that chance. Yeah, right? You lose the first one, you're just like, All right, well, let's try and come back and get the next 2. I want to get my 1,000 at least. Man, yeah, that tilts me. We lost to some medium cards there. Oh, we have some medium cards, so who am I to talk? But I just felt like that should have been ours. Just felt like that should have been ours and we didn't get there. All right, keeping this easy on the opening on Fox, and then we'll just cycle up a storm. Oppo had a deck with some great cards in it, and so do we. I'm not sure I'm willing to call Oppo's deck great. They had a couple of great cards to build around, and needed to play a lot of medium stuff to do it, is kind of what I saw. Which is, again, kind of what we're doing. I'm not trying to be holier than thou. What's the magic term for holier than thou? I'm gonna just accept the 2 here and drop probably Caprador to use our mana, and then Stinger. We have Stinger Arrow next turn. Yeah, spikier than thou. That's pretty good. No perfect magic player here. I'm gonna do this. Use all our mana. And also, if they have the counterspell, not a bad thing to get countered. It's Night Bond, though. Yeah, I think they were trying to go with clean numbers, but the result is people don't exactly love the feel of this payout. I'm gonna play that, and then we send in, and we have our Raking Claws. I think I'm gonna Divine Arrow our Caprador so they don't draw off the Empathy. We are basically putting an aura on our flyer here, but I like it. Yeah, double strike it. Next turn would be good. I guess we could have done that this turn. I didn't really think that through. We could have just tried to go for the win. But it wouldn't have been the win, right? It would have been 5 extra damage. That wouldn't have been the win. Never mind. They're tapped out, though, so this is the win. Yeah, I think they wanted clean-looking numbers. You know, if you put... Because they got this nice clean 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 3,000. If you shift down, you need to put something in that happens 3 times. Like, so you're rewarding 3 more players. Let's say you made it, like... Give me a number that, give me an amount of gold that you would get from, amount of gems you could get from 1-2 in this event that wouldn't feel like, why did you even bother? Like, if you did 50 gems, like, for me, that's why did you even bother? Like, for 50 gems, I wouldn't even want to break up the cleanliness of the lines they have. But maybe they could just toss it in as a nominal, you know, like 250. So Robert's saying 250. That means you're taking 750 gems out of the prize pool for the 1,000, 3,000 group. And you got to put that back. So you got to take 750 out of there. So maybe it's 250, 750, 3,000. You could do that. Like, would you prefer that? What if it was 250 for 1 and 2, 750 for 2 and 1, and 3,000 for 3 and 0. Would you like it that way? Doesn't have to be zero sum. I'm not saying it's. I am saying it's zero sum because that's the economy they've saying they're targeted. Like, Robert, if you were working at Wizards of the Coast, and you had this job, you would be tasked with figuring out how to distribute this much gems as prize support in this pool. You don't get to just say, yes, but I, the designer, would like to add more gems to the payouts. The econ guys say, no, you don't get to add more. So, why so steep, Queen? Because they have a shallow thing, and it's the bot drafts. They want to, and this is an easy keep. It's the bot drafts. Shallow, they have shallow, and it's the bot drafts. If you want the kiddie pool, you go to the bot drafts, and if you want real drafting, it's competitive. I think that's fair. All right. Didn't do any cycle 1s because we already had our 3 mana, and I like what's going on here. My question is, do we start with Leosaur, or do we go probably just healer and then Stinger? Although, no, let's go Stinger first. Then we might go Leosaur, cycle, healer. It's a relative thing. Everybody playing on Arena is being, quote, competitive, but if you don't think that bot drafts are the least competitive of the options on Limited, then on Arena, then I don't even know what you're saying. I like sending in the Stinger and then giving them the arrow if they want to try and trade the Fertilid. I don't even think they'll block. Usually people who play Fertilids really want them. Just so. And yeah, I'm going to go Leosaur here, hold, healer, cycle. Oh, I hear you, Queen. I mean, part of... I kind of want to talk more about this, but I should focus on winning this match. Maybe we can talk bots and payout structures and all that kind of stuff after as a little aside. But let's keep playing here. See, I just lost an hourglass. Classic Ryan. I am going to cycle here. We need to find some land. Healer's not the most important payoff. I'd rather get the cycle 1 out of it. There we go. Got some land. And with Divine Arrow and Raking Claws, I like, again, shipping in here. They may have counter magic, but we have 2 things to do to save, like, either of these if we want to. Given that they missed a land drop, I'm also expecting them to be chumping here, so we're gonna not even... I'll take this trade straight up if they want it, but I'm expecting them to use Fertilid. They clearly need some land. And that just allows me to drop Tigerilla here. Their shields down. We're gonna go Menace. They don't have a lot of blockers. Divine Arrow is gonna crush that pretty good. I like a Fox first, in case for some reason we need to cycle the Imposing Vantasaur. We still have Divine Arrow, Raking Claws, even with the cycle of the Vantasaur. They didn't. They couldn't. It enters tapped. They were only allowed. They could only get one of the lands, or they certainly would have. So, no real value in the cycle because it doesn't increase our damage anywhere here. So we're just going to let this damage happen and then pass with cycling and Divine Arrow up. Oh yeah, I could have gone Claws on Gorilla, that's true. I think I only want to do that when it's like GG though. Thank you for the sub, Knight, appreciate that. Well, and speaking of GG, we got it. Queen feels like she's being forgotten by WotC. So, Queen, what you want is a flatter human draft payout. I think that's a fair complaint. I think here let's go to Soapbox though, and with my new button, look. All right. Oh yeah, some of you came late. Here, I'll show you my stream deck that's working. There it is. Buttons and everything. Woohoo! No new content on it yet, but hang tight. There will be soon. Here, I'll give everybody everybody who missed it the full-on. Here's all 11 memes at once. Ready? Ready? All 11 memes. Here we go.
Come say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
Good times. Do it again. Yeah, I need to organize them in order of length. All right, fine. I'm going to make it a separate thing that's more expensive, but since I haven't done it yet, I will do it for Wang. This is for Wang. Well, Robert wants just Sailor now, so fine. Thanks, Nantuko. I way beat the under. Yeah, I got the XL one. I'm a sucker for that. Like, I figured, like, so, you know, just full transparency. This retail was about it was $250. This is the XL version. There's a smaller one that has like half the buttons. They're bigger buttons, but they're like, there's half as many. And I was just like, I want more buttons. So I paid $100 for doubling the buttons, basically. And it's really a ludicrous thing for me to buy given the amount of money I actually make on the stream, but it is so useful for this. I'm so happy to have it. Like, it's going to make my life just a lot better, so. Exactly. I'm reinvesting your subs to tech to make it better. 5 points to timeout D for 2 hours? Don't think so. I might. If I can figure out the timeout D button, I will probably just make it. I do want to shortcut all the things I do a lot. It's true. All right. Anyway, let me go back to this view. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go log in. Go here, actually. Hey, everybody. I thought I would take a second to talk a little bit with chat about the steepness of the queue payouts, and because we've been talking a lot about how the economy feels right now. You know, I was on Limited Resources recently, and we talked about what the economy is doing and how to do a mathematical assessment of what queue is right for you. And if I throw this on YouTube, I'll also throw a link to a video discussing how to do that. So if you're trying to figure out what queues to enter, there's a whole separate conversation around that. What I want to talk about here right now is just how these queues are making us feel. I've been talking about it a lot at the start of the show, talking about how, for me, for example, Premier, which is play until you win 7 times or lose 3 times, has just been feeling better to me, even though it's on a EV level, very equivalent to me for the best of 3. And experientially, ostensibly I like the best of 3 sideboarding feel. I'm more advantaged in best of 3 because I'm not being match made on rank, so I get to leverage my above 50% win percentage towards winning even more matches in best 2 out of 3. But what I like about Premier is that it's got a broader spectrum of wins and losses, broader spectrum of results. The only thing you can do in traditional is 0 wins, 1 win, 2 wins, or 3 wins. There's 4 possible results, and in best of 1, there's you can go anywhere from 0 and 3 to 7 and 2. There's just this huge range in between that I really like. It feels more granular that way, and also it feels like I can have some middle feeling drafts. I feel like there's at least these spots that I can land that are kind of medium, whereas best of 3, if we look at if we go back to like even just looking at them, I know where chat is covering up some of these numbers, but it's so steep that best of 3, well, they're both steep though, that's the thing. I was doing the math, and like in Premier and in best of 3, both of them put give the majority of the rewards to the top half of the drafters. The top half are getting, quote, everything. In best of 1, not literally everything, but in this, there's 1 person that gets 0 wins and 3 people get 1 win. They get nothing but packs, and then all of the gems are loaded here. And the other one, Premier, actually, I'm going to get out of your way for a second so you can see this. Premier, with its broader spectrum, still it offers some gems down here, right? But it's a lot harder to calculate. But I did the math, and basically, with the exception of these, the 50, the 100, and the 250. So down here, these are the only rewards that go to players that did worse than 50, worse than half the field. The 50-50 and better players, which is over half the field, even though there's a lot more here, like half the players end up down here, half the players end up over here. It's a little bit less steep because at least there's something going on for the 0 win, 1 win, 2 win level, but it's pretty nominal down here. The real meat starts up here, which also, again, makes this super steep. And then we finally have bot drafts, the quick draft, where this is very flat. 50 gems at the bottom, but then it starts to go up quickly. 100, 200, 300, 450, and it's half as much to enter. You know, it's much cheaper to enter. So this is where to go. This is the queue from an EV standpoint that the newer players want to be in, but it doesn't necessarily feel good. And I think Queen is making the point. Queen Dragon, a longtime viewer and friend of the channel, is disappointed in these structures because she doesn't feel like there's a home for her. And I get it, Queen, because Queen wants to be out of this. She doesn't want to be doing quick draft. She wants to draft against humans. She wants to get better at this game. And she knows that she needs to draft against humans to experience that. And also, I mean, it's just so much better the experience is so much better against humans because the breadth and more variety in gameplay. But the thing is, so Queen is sad though, because as we just looked, both of those are really steep structures. They made the bot draft super shallow, and then both of the human drafts, boom, super steep. And I agree with you, Queen. I think Wizards would be doing right by you if they would figure out something to do here in traditional to make you feel better about it. They could rebrand Premier. They could make Premier their place that's a little bit flatter. But they're trying to set this up as the spiky place to be. If you are super competitive on Arena about drafting and you care about rank and all that stuff, they're really setting Premier Draft to be that. So Queen, I really feel like, thank you for that sub. Appreciate that a lot. But I really feel like forcing themselves to make best of one the premier way to play is really forcing their hand. Because if I didn't have to do that, what I would do is make traditional best of three the spikiest queue with the steepest payouts, and I don't mind the 1,000, 3,000 at all. I would like to make best of three the spikiest, and then flatten this out a little more. Instead of a jump from 250 to 1,000, shift some of the 1,000 back down into here. Just shift it all down a bit. Take some off the top here, spread it around, and make it a little bit flatter. I don't want it to be as flat as the bot queue. I think that should be super flat. But I think you're right, Queen, that they really are missing a medium flatness queue for the limited player on Arena right now. And my problem with how, it just doesn't feel... We're in the middle of a best of three, and we're 1-1, and it kind of feels sad because it's like, well, we're 1-1. The best we can do now is 1,000, and the structure is as good for me as any. In terms of EV, game EV, at my win rate, I would be happy from an EV standpoint playing in traditional or Premier, but the structure just definitely feels worse on my psyche than it does in Premier. And even though I know that, it still has that effect. That's the human brain for you. So I wanted to at least say that, and then I'll take some quick AMA here if anybody has any questions on that topic. Or Queen, what do you feel? Did I capture where you're at, Queen? That you just want the intermediate human draft, right? And it feels like they've given us 2 spiky human drafts and 1 kiddie pool bot draft and no mid-range, right? I don't know, Media, what's your feelings? Re-summarize your feelings and I'll care about them. I was talking, not reading. So... Does it ever frustrate me losing to decks in best of one that you feel like you'd crush in a lower variance format? I mean, sure, I get salty about that stuff, but I try to just get salty and then move on. I mean, I got salty. We lost our first match and was like, I don't feel like I should have lost there. But I also got a lot of hubris involved there, right? I never feel like I should lose to anybody, but that's just my hubris talking. So it's frustrating, but it's balanced out. The thing about that, Anitus, is that in best of one, at the very least, I have what I call them fouls to give. I mean, if I lose to that deck that I feel like I totally should have beat, well, I get 2 of those, and I can still win 7 times. You get 2. You got lucky against me, buddy. Moments. And then, and that kind of makes me feel better about that kind of variance. Media says, I think the best of 3 format they have now is by far my favorite on any format they've ever put on Arena, and would be very sad if it changed. Is it about the payouts, or is it about the specific steepness of it, or is it about the games and how much is the gems involved versus the game structure? Queen says, I just feel like I'm in between. I'm a good drafter. Yeah, exactly. My win rate in best of 3 is, well, over time about 64-65%, and best of 1 has been 62-63%. So far in Ikoria, I've blown those numbers away. I'm like 75%-ish in Premiere, and yeah, I have numbers in the 70s in Ikoria for whatever reason. But you can go look it up specifically in my spreadsheet if you're curious. All my results are there. And anyway, I'm gonna I think the big disconnect, or the big friction, or thing that just doesn't mesh with the whole economy is pushing best of 1 Premiere as the spikiest way to play, when at the end of the day the spikiest way to play limited is best of 3, right? So they've got this tension. I listened about half the KO episode. I don't know if he got into this, but the that's the tension they're facing. All right, let's get back to our event. Thank you for hanging out for a little side chat though. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate the donation. Helping pay for my stream deck. All right. Plan A, in effect. Turn 1 Fox gets there. That's always plan A with my Fox-based cycling decks. Serpent seems farther away from being relevant than Raking Claws, so I'm going to cycle the Serpent here. If we don't draw anything for next turn, though, I'm going to be happy to cycle both of these. Set up for a Winona attack next turn. Let's go Leak first. Ooh, interesting. Well, now I'm going to attack. They might have Divine Arrow. If they have Divine Arrow, we could try Healer into 1 mana Cycler. That's pretty thin, though. I'm just going to attack and play Healer here, if we can, and hope that we don't get arrowed. Hey, developer, thank you. And if they counter this, Scattered, okay. We get Winota instead. That seems fine. Haven't played a land here. They look to be maybe... I mean, this screen... Like, it's weird to have the turn 2 Scatter. I was thinking they were cycling, but turn 2 Scatter suggests maybe not. Do I force red-white somewhat? Well, we were talking about that, Vagrant. I think you could say... I don't like the word force, but I do look for it. I will completely own looking for it, but I think it's correct. Because, to me, forcing, almost by its very definition, is incorrect. I'm trying to keep tabs on that, and I'm trying to be honest with you all about whether or not I am addicted to cycling or whether I'm drafting correctly. And chat had my back on it today. The first few picks, you know, I was asking chat if I was being forcey or just drafting sensibly, and most people who responded today said I was drafting sensibly, so I don't know. I definitely look for it though, but I was just talking about how my win rate in this format is significantly higher than it's ever been in any other format. So maybe I'm doing it right. It's also interesting. Slapshot says, I honestly think people often find red-white to be the worst color combo in previous set drafts, so even when it's red-white cycling is amazing, it's people aren't going after it or whatever. I think it's also that this deck is not obvious in terms of how to build it and how to play it. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and if you're not aware of it, you're going to build the deck all wrong, and you might just have a terrible opinion of it. Going with Cathartic here in the face of more possible scatter mana. I haven't done that, Zebra. It would be interesting, but I just haven't found the time or inclination. Maybe I'm supposed to be, like, thinking about what we know is at the bottom of our deck or whatever, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and cycle for some damage here. And Vagrant, you've hit on why I continue to say I look for it. Vagrant says, the reason I asked, I forced it last draft, had a mediocre red-white deck, no flare, 1 fox, got to 7 wins anyway. And that's kind of what I've been saying, is like, the thing with looking for this deck is that it is powerful enough that when you fail, it's still not bad. I don't think this is a very good version of a cycling deck. This isn't like a pure Rockstar cycling deck. We're playing Capador, Day Squad, Marshall. You don't run these cards in a cycling deck if you can help it, right? But we didn't have it. We missed on cycling, but we still feel like this is a pretty strong performing deck so far. I'm going to go with a bigger power toughness add here. Yeah, threat density in cycling decks is real. I have one I drafted that we could look at if you're just curious about it, maybe even play it if there's time. But it's a very low threat count. It's like a 4-threat cycling deck, but it's got 13 cycling 1. So it's hard to know whether it's even good or not. Like, because if the oppo has enough removal, they can handle my threats, and then I don't know what I'm doing. But it's got so much cycle 1 that if any of them live, they're just in big trouble. Oppo in the tank hopefully means that we're taking game 1. Oh, we're also 1-1. I didn't update my record. We are 1-1, looking for 2 wins here in this best of 3 event. Oh, we got our fox. Let's see if we can get there anyway. They used their whole turn on that. Well, maybe not. Just gonna play Capador and Healer here. Stay nice and wide. All we need is one more thing to get through. Maybe we even go... Like, is there sweepers? What sweepers could they have in these colors? I don't think there is, right? They've got the ultimatums. I'm gonna... I don't think there's sweepers, so I'm doing this. If I'm wrong, someone will tell me, I'm sure. Yeah, Mythos could be pretty good, but we still get there, right? I think I'm gonna... I need to take a bio break out of this game, so I'm gonna run off mid-sideboard and try to run back, and probably means we submit whatever I've got here, but it's the price I'm gonna pay. All right, we like to see this. Looks like they're digging, digging, digging. All right, I'll be right back. I'm back. We ran it back before. Oh no, wait, this is first sideboarding against this deck. So another red-white cycling. This might be good against them. All right. Running it back, I guess. Running it back. All right. Let's get this. Let's just get it right now. Let's just get this 2-0 win and get our 1,000 gems and be reasonably happy about this result. Yeah, we're going to keep this. I'm going to cycle this leak. Well, we could wait. We now have turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 play. We can leak later. Yeah, I'll wait. We have a good sequence here. I always cycle 1-on-1 when I don't have the lands I want or I don't have like a sequence that I want. But we got a solid sequence here. Oh, Foxy, you are so late. Do we want to run the Fox out and now cycle Leak instead of Leosaur? I'm going to say no. With 2 mana up and Scatter in the format, let's offer him Leosaur. You got it, Danelius. Danelius. Well, still have counter mana up, but we're going to offer him a Marmoset. At least we have a backup Marm. Now, next turn, we get Marmoset Fox, which I definitely like over anything else. Let's 2-spell while we can, and with some pretty good ones. Would the Leosaur be too good if it pumped itself? Probably not. I don't think it would have been too good. It's not very good as it is, so it's not like that would have been put it over the top and we'd be all like, oh, that card is busted. We'd probably still not be playing it. Well, they got both of our Marms, so we got a little extra work to do, but again, this deck has a lot of weird, unusual tools for relative to the typical cycling deck. I could go Marshall here, but I'm going to cycle a Leak, get the Fox to a somewhat respectable power toughness. And boy, now maybe we just kill their Marm. And this, we could also make a huge flyer. Maybe I'll just play the Glider for now, and then we can decide whether we're prophesying their stuff or our stuff future. And I'm going to go Skies with this. I mean, you can see it. Do we want to put any of these back? That's the question. Take a big smack here, but we can manage this. Stinger, interesting. I kind of like squad, set up some chumping. Although we could also prophecy Stinger, but I kind of want to chump here. Let's do this. They only have one card. Maybe they send in if they can't cycle for the Marmoset, they can't even attack. So I'm going to do this and send in. They're pausing. I'm wondering, like, this could, like, if this were me, this would be me thinking about whether or not I'm bluffing the Marmoset attack if I didn't have any cycling. So if they attack, it'll be interesting, because I kind of feel like they don't have it, or they're leveling me and they do have it, or they're not even thinking about it and I'm just leveling myself. But let's see what they do. Yeah, they could be thinking about cycle or fight too. That's a reasonable thing. Well, if they had it, they wouldn't hesitate unless they were trying to get in my head, right? With that, you could make an argument for taking 5 and killing the Marm and getting in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 versus 7 doesn't change the clock, though, so we're going to chump. Claws would get us to 1, right? But we'd be okay with that. Boy, we're really chumping and really hoping they don't have action. Let's see. So now we're going to go Fire Prophecy on the Marmoset. Maybe just to, because I want to get rid of this Plains. Although, wait, maybe I do need to go Fire Prophecy onto Caprador to win this one. So let's do that. Yeah, let's try and get there on the strength of Caprador and chumping. I think that's our best chance. We could even... We'll send this flyer. Well, zero pot. I mean, they have no cards, so not sure what pause we're even thinking about. But we do have also the play. We can turn our Caprador into a 4/6, and there is an argument for make a 4/6 double block Archie, or we could just do make a 4/6 bounce off the Serpent. That's pretty good too. Why not save the land for Prophecy? Because I want to Prophecy this turn. We're just going to accept that Prophecy is just 3 damage instead of 3 damage and a rummage. Because I also want to keep the Stinger, I think. Make the Fox bigger. All right, just Archie. What do we want to do about that? Because we could also, the other thing we can do is cycle, create 3, 3, and 1, and just put everything on it, and they get the Fox and the Marshal. But then we Prophecy. Yeah, I think I'm in for triple block. I think Fenrir is right. I said we're trying to win by chumping anyway, and if they put the Caprador first, okay, we'll think differently about this, but we can cycle the Stinger instead or something. But I don't think they're going to put the Caprador first. Yeah, that's more what I expected, and so we'll Prophecy up our Caprador, and at least get a dead Archie. The SOV. Well, now I gotta cycle to see what's going on. Or we could play this to chump. We could attack and then decide. But I think we have to send both. So now let's see if they block. Gotta apply the pressure. They can start blocking a 4-6 next turn. We can get in for 2. If they don't draw cycling, we take 7. I think I'm going to... And if they bring in with both, we get to crack back with the cycle. Well, I don't know, Fenor. That's what I'm trying to decide. Do you think we need to cycle the Stinger? Because we could play it. We have in the deck lots of stuff. We got Fox, Swallowhole, Divine Arrow, Healer, Will, Reunion, another Stinger, Raking Claws, Cycling, Winota, Vantasaur, Lava Serpent. There's good stuff. And we're at 9 lands, though. Reasonable shot that we draw land still. This is really interesting. I'm going to play the Stinger. I think it's both nice as a threat to crack back with, and if we find additional cycling, it's face. I don't even think we block. Like, if they send in, and I'm thinking we just don't block, and then we risk losing. Like, I think they have to do this. And if they get us, they get us. I'm gonna make them have it. No, we could lose. If they could find cycle into cycle into cycle into cycle, right? Cycle, 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 and we could be dead. But we had to. We were taking some risk there. Oh, that's actually the worst. That they found a second source of flyer makers. Now we're in trouble. Now we need some action off the top, or I'm not sure how we get there. That's for you, my deck. I'm gonna do this, and hopefully they don't block right or something. I'm gonna put on some stop bluffs here, but I don't think they're gonna work. I think we're dead. They figured it out, folks. They figured it out. Although they still need to make dudes, so let's go full control. Make them do it. All right. Funny. Normally, Oppo is not happy to top deck a land late in the game like that, but in this case, it saved them. I'm not sure we had the win without that second planes, but it certainly took away our options. Tentative connection. We could steal something. We feel like we're racing. I think we just run it back again, though. Looks like maybe we're getting into combat enough we could consider a reflexes, but like over what? Let's just do it. Run it back. Come on, deck. Do right by us here. Reasonable mix of land and spells. I guess in a cycling deck, this is reasonable. We're going to keep and be able to cycle one. Bit risky. I get it. We're taking some risk here. This is also not a hyper land shaved cycling deck. We have 15 lands and like 6 cycle ones. So we are in solid statistical territory for drawing out of this. And we've got one of the best opening plays for the cycling deck that you can have. Boy. So, can attack for Fox, play Fox, except that we don't have a second land drop, but cycle for 2/2/2 Foxes on the turn after? Man, I suppose, like, let me ask you this. If there was a guaranteed plains on top or mountain, would you still do it? I don't know. I think the fact that we don't know there's a land on top means we should do it, because this is actually a pretty good result next turn if we don't find a land. Please find a land. So good. Woo! I'm gonna represent cycling one. They may have noticed it right there that we didn't have it, but I'm gonna set it up for the rest of the way at least. And a third land. Yay, us. We can try for Marmoset. They have shown us the scatter, though. So I actually like just cycling the All Hunter here. Or the Raking Claws, even. I guess we'll save the Raking Claws. We could double strike to win here. I'm going to cycle the All Hunter. And I'm going to cycle the Stinger. All in on double Fox. Right on, Geb. Do you like Geb or Jeb? You kind of got the GIF thing going on there, 140. Maybe I'll just call you 140. Glad you're here. Glad you found us. Glad you're enjoying and learning. I don't remember what the second was anymore, but I'll take... that's all right. All right. We could... Oh, yeah, we just Raking Claws and win. Sorry. We got there. That's what I said we were going to try and do, right? We're doing it! Yee! All right, I'm glad we made it to 2 and 1. That's good. Get some gems back there. I'll add this to our deck if we have decks. If we have room, we do. Claim this prize. We're gonna go. We'll stay here and open packs. I think we have 10. Yeah, 13 Ikoria now. Zach says, how trustworthy do you think the brackets are in matchmaking? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean how often are you match made with someone with your exact record? Yeah, it's not exact. It's, I mean, trustworthy is a weird way to put it, because I don't think Wizards is lying about anything. The matchmaking is just not perfect. Matchmaking... basically the way you set up matchmaking in a game like this is to go from You try to get a perfect match, and then as the perfect match isn't there, you over time broaden your willingness to accept something other than a perfect match. And your challenge as a designer is to find the point, the right balance point there, the right balance point between making people happy because they're getting good matchups and the balance point of making people happy because they're playing quickly. So that's the constant juggle of matchmaking balance, and it's never going to be perfect. And anybody, you're not going to find any developer who suggests it's going to be perfect. Zach clarifies, I guess I mean, what percentage of the time do you think you can assume the person you are facing is in your bracket? I guess who cares, Zach? I mean, so you're saying like you, because it's going to go both ways. Sometimes, I mean, if you felt like, darn it, they should have found a better match for me than Lola Man, sometimes you're going to get matched the other way too, right? I mean, I think you all are setting yourselves up for headache and heartache if you're going to get too worried about exactly how perfectly you're being paired. At the end of the day, it's going to be as close as they can get it, and you're going to get a reasonable match of magic in. Like, I don't know. I just don't, to me, it's just not that big a deal. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though. I'm going to say a quick goodbye to YouTube, though, before we continue figuring out what we're going to do. Thanks for hanging out with us today, YouTube. We'll catch you at the next draft. See ya.